Hi, and welcome to episode 79 of the Cat Lady podcast. My name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2T, CATT, craft all the things. It is Tuesday, October 30th, 2018, day before Halloween, so getting ready to get all that stuff together. I still can't say if I'm coming back for good, but I have some stuff to share, so I figured why not? So welcome back, all my returning viewers, and if you're new, this will be kind of a regular episode. Last week I did my Rhinebeck special, and that was just kind of recapping everything from Rhinebeck, but I did show some stuff I was working on. But this one will be more kind of normal. And again, I'm probably not gonna put any extras and stuff. I might put a few pictures here and there, and I'll probably just stick them at the end because it's just much easier for me to do it that way. And if this is gonna happen, I need it to be easy. So I'm using a microphone today to see if maybe the sound will be better. Not that my sound I think was bad, but I don't know, maybe it'll be a little more crisp. So let me know if you have any comments on that, if it's worse, if it's better, if it doesn't make any difference. Just trying it out. So maybe I can even get a little microphone. I don't know. So hi. Hope everyone's doing well. It is in the middle of the afternoon. I'm kind of getting the house ready for Halloween. We have already had a couple of Halloween mishaps that I'll talk about at the end of the crafting stuff. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear what's going on with me. But to talk about the crafting, let's jump right into my knitting projects. So Christmas is approaching, and this weekend my mother came over to hang out, see the kids and everything. And I was showing her my sweater I knit for Rhinebeck, which is the Seclude by Alicia Plummer. And showing, I made a sweater and blah, blah, blah. And then I showed her that it had little sleeves with the armholes, and she just like, oh my gosh, I love it, I love it, I love it. So I almost just turned around and gave it to her because I said, why don't you try it on just to see if it fits. So I pretty much told her I was going to knit her one because I asked her what color she likes and whatever. So I am now knitting another one for my mother. And I already started. I just cast it on yesterday or the day before. So, and it's it's a very easy pattern. It's relatively mindless, and just easy to follow instructions. So, and I'm enjoying it again, even though it's the same exact color and same exact everything. And actually, this one is going to have less mistakes so far than mine because I screwed up a couple times that I had to like kind of fudge the numbers here and there where I missed an increase or something along those lines. So I already know this one's turning out better because I know what I'm doing now more than I did the first time. But it starts off flat, and all the markers are where the increases are. So you have basically you're shaping it's a V-neck, so you're shaping the V-neck on the ends here. And then this is the back panel, and then you have the two sleeves, and then it's going to join in the round after you are finished forming the V-neck, and you're going to go from there. So I'm in the first section of increases for the V-neck, and then it goes into another section, and then you join together. So I'm still a ways away from the joining together, but this is my progress keeper from Jen. Well, I'm not using it as a progress keeper as much as I'm using it as a row counter. So every time I do a repeat, I mark it so I know where I left off. And that's from Jen, the Uncreative Crafter. So she made that for us for Rhinebeck. And then I'm using my Rhinebeck stitch markers from Katrinkles. So the yarn I'm using is Caron Simply Soft. Super inexpensive. Soft. It's soft yarn. Easy care. I mean, I've washed my sweater already twice and no issues. So it's 100% acrylic. I have no issues with acrylic. There's a time and a place for everything, and it's not been difficult to work with. It's not hard on my hands, and it's pretty soft. So, and it even softens up even more when you wash it. So, and I've thrown it in the wash and the dryer. So, because it gets wrinkly and it's hard to lay out flat. And I prefer just throwing things in the dryer. So that's working out pretty well. Now my yarn is in my Zelda Symphony of the Goddess tote bag. So that was a symphony me and my husband went to a year or two ago. So, but it's going to be the same exact color as my other one. So let's see if I can find the dark. So it's the light gray, dark gray sleeves. Let's see if I can find a picture of the pattern. Oh, it's right there. So that's what it looks like finished. So I want to make another one for myself in some fun colors. So the grays work because I want to wear it with, some of my bright colored shawls, which it worked out really well for Rhinebeck to have the gray sweater in my fun green exploration station. So, but next time I want to make even if it's just gray with a pop of color on the sleeve, or I was thinking like purple in a white sleeve. Oh, I think that'd be really pretty. Oh, no, I take that back. I was at the store picking out the yarn for my mom's, and I saw like a holiday red sorta, and it's like a nice red. I like it. And it was again in the Care and Simply Soft because it was like $20 for the yarn. So like it's a $20 sweater. And easy care and everything. So anyways, it was like a holiday red, and then with the white sleeves, I can make it for a Christmas sweater for me, but I don't know if I can get that done and that one done by Christmas. So maybe next year's Christmas sweater. However, maybe this year's Christmas sweater. I'm all about the sweaters, I guess. I started this in Rhinebeck, or the day before. This was my Rhinebeck project to bring with me. So this is the flax. Of course, I'm in the middle of a row, or no, I'm in the round, so I'm not really in the middle of a row, but not too much done, but you can see it's starting the garter stitch panels on the sleeves. I'm still just increasing it's kind of the same 2 rounds over and over again. But if I finish this is going to be a Christmas sweater because it's a nice green. And this is Knit Picks Brava, again, acrylic, again, easy care. This is pretty soft. I bought this years ago to make a sweater, and I made a sweater almost. I made the whole body, and it was too big. It was not even, like, maybe I could have made it work, but it was too big. It was like way too big. And no. I just didn't like it, and I let it sit for like a year, and then I frogged it. So now we're going to make it into a sweater that hopefully fits. So far, so good. Obviously, I can't tell yet. It doesn't look like much. But this is the Flax by Tin Can Knits. Free pattern on Ravelry. Sizes for the whole family. So. And I don't know if I mentioned, I'm not sure, since the last time I podcasted, I think I got these in the summer, so of course I didn't show them off, but I got myself a interchangeable Chowgu set. This is the 5-inch set, which I now have on my wish list, the 4-inch set, because it'd be nice to have the 16-inch around circular for hats and stuff. But nice little packaging. It comes with size 2 to 15, which is awesome. So I'd like to get the 4-inch in the same set. Be nice to have and then I'd like to maybe de-stash my knit picks. I have 2 sets of knit picks that I just don't like the cords, especially compared to the Chowgu cords. These are my favorite needles now, and that's what I'm using for this. That's kind of what I'm using for everything. So to have another set would be nice, and just it comes with a variety of cords. So I could have as little as 16, and then as big as 40. So what else? So that is my only 2 knitting projects. So 2 sweaters. Go figure. And that is in my Peace, Love, and Dragons bag. And we are the Lake Orion Dragons in our school, and our colors are green and white. So this was from a friend of mine. She got me a shirt that says the same thing, and then this cool bag. So figured green sweater, green bag. Kind of went together. So that was it for knitting. And on to a little bit of spinning. I had a traumatic experience this week. Is it in here? Yes. Okay, so I'm working on my Into the World odds and ends. Basically, they are little, small, so what does this say? It's 4 ounces total, so they're like half ounce, quarter ounce maybe, bits. And to be honest, it's funny because this one, I pulled this one out. It looks exactly like the skein or the braid that Jen and I, the Creative Crafters, spun for each other, which was called 221B, which was a Sherlock Holmes reference. But it was this purple gray. So I bet you this is an on and end from one of those. Totally looks like it. So that's funny. So I will have a little sample of my already spun skein. But anyways, in the good news, I'll share the good news first. I have 3 done. So here's 3 I have finished. And this one looks very similar to one I already have in my other bag. I'm thinking I want to combine these and do something with them all, but it's different, but it kind of reminds me of that one. That one's got yellow in it. This one's got green. That one's got yellow and green. This one just has green. But I want to do something with all of them somehow. I'm not sure what. Yeah, and, a lot of them look similar. So like these two kind of go together. So I have a lot of them that could go together. So, and then this kind of dark, they got burgundy, dark blue, purple, and some brown and light green in there. And yeah, so then I have all these left still. So I only did 3. However, when you have children, you need to be more cautious with your things. Because I set my spindle on this little bench table we have. It's not a coffee table, but it's a little bench area that we use as a little table in our family room. And I left it there the night before, and I thought in my head, this should be okay. It's on a table. Shouldn't be a problem. You know, it flashed through my mind before I went to bed. Next morning, woke up, everything's fine. All of a sudden, like an hour later or something or whatever, I'm just hanging out. Emily's like, uh-oh. I'm like, okay. And it's hard to see because I taped it, but you can see it's broken. And if you follow me on Instagram, there you go. You can see it too. It's cracked, completely cracked. It was, it was assembled. So it was all assembled, and somehow it ended up on the floor, and then she stepped on it. So thankfully it still spins, wobbly, but spins. So, I mean, it still functioned because I had a project on there. I had this one on there. So I managed to finish it, because I at least wanted to finish it. So, and thankfully the actual spindle legs are completely fine, the arms. So I contacted Snyder Spindles right away and said, hey, do you sell a replacement? Let me know. And he said, right away, he said, send me your address and I'll send you a new one. So being that he's always had pretty amazing customer service, because if you are a longtime follower, you'll know I had a problem with this thing turning blue due to some fiber I was spinning. Like the whole thing was just nasty blue because of the dye. He offered to send me a new one if I couldn't get it clean, but he ended up telling me to use a magic eraser, and that worked. So yeah, he's always been really fast to respond, good customer service, friendly to talk to at the festivals. And I've been talking to him the last 2 festivals I went to. I went to Michigan Fiber Fest and I went to Rhinebeck. I talked to him both times looking at these Scottish spindles, and they're very weird looking spindles. It's like really fat bottom, and it kind of tapers up into like this tip. So you picture this, and then it goes wide, and it's kind of like round at the bottom with little notches in the bottom, and you pretty much wind it on like a Nosta pin. So I need to learn how to do that. But anyways, I ordered one since I've been hemming and hawing for the last 3 months. I said, okay, well, if you're going to send me this for free, I'm just going to order something. You can put it in my package. So I ordered myself a Scottish spindle, so I can show that off next time I record. It's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So that's in my Chasing Acorns R2D2 C3PO bag. And that project is on hold, and my kind of was joking, the universe is telling me I need to knit, not spin, because I kind of been obsessed with this little minis project. Also, on my spinning agenda, I'm still working on my fiber optic gradient that I purchased last year at Rhinebeck. So I'm spinning it very thin, so it's taking a very long time, because I'm hoping to get a nice fingering weight after I chain ply it. Oh, and speaking of, all these minis are all chain plied, because I like to keep, when you have a fiber that's kind of, I say mottled colors, like and like some, like lots of mixed colors, maybe even. That's just kind of a, not like big long repeats, even though that definitely has a benefit too. I don't know. When you have something like this, so there's like very small chunks of colors, that's, you know, this one maybe not the best example because these colors would actually go well together if you two-ply them. But in general, when it's something like this, depending on the colors, I like to chain ply because you make these semi-long bits of these colors and then you can maintain the little stripes or variegation, I guess. If you spin this and then you two-ply it, it's all barber pulled, which is fine, but then sometimes it gets muddy. So like I regret one of the spins I made a long time ago. I don't think I have it. I started to work on a Raina shawl with it and I fractal spun it and it was okay, but the colors just didn't really complement each other as well as I wanted them to at being two-plied. Because when you fractal, you split the braid. Boy, I can't talk today. You split the braid in half, and then you take one half and you leave it as is, and you take the other half and you split it into like 4. And then, so you spin the one half as is, keep that aside. Then you take your 4 pieces and spin them A, B, C, D. So then you have one side that has these longer repeats, and then you have the 4 kind of small repeat, and then you ply them together. So then you kind of get it almost looks like a striped, but then it's kind of marled in its look, which I like. But the colors that I used it in, I'm not 100% sold on it. I started a Raina, I messed up a million times, so I frogged it, and I'm not sure where the yarn ended up. It's around somewhere. I'm looking at my hand spun shelf and I don't see it there, so it's probably in a cake somewhere in a different location. So anyways, that is my spinning stories. But anyways, I'm working on, I like 3-ply seems to be my go-to because when you have a gradient, you want to keep all those long color runs, so you 3-ply. Chain ply. When you have those short colors, kind of blotchy modeled fiber, I like to chain ply because then it keeps kind of the colors together and doesn't kind of muddy them up. If it's a tonal braid or one that's a lot less, more subtle colors, well, my fiber's downstairs so I can't show you, but I would 2-ply it. And I like 2-ply as well, but it just has to be the right. It doesn't work for, 2-ply doesn't work for everything. Chain ply kind of works for everything, but it gives you a plumper plied yarn, obviously a more rounded yarn, I guess. So it really all depends on what you're knitting as well, but I'm not into that too much. So that's it. That's all I'm working on. So I tried to sit down at the actual wheel, my Ashford Traditional, and spin on my fiber optics, and it's called Copper to Verdigris. It was a orangey, coppery color that went to, then it turned kind of red, and then it turned black, and then it's turning green. Yeah, so I'm in like the blackish section that's going to green, and it's a very dark green. So, and it's a gradient, and I'm gonna chain ply it, and yada yada yada. So on to some stash that I didn't have last week. And this one's an old stash. This one's from Michigan Fiber Festival, but I think I got this from Michigan Fiber Festival. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think if I got anything else at the Fiber Festival. Oh, I did. I got a shawl pin. I don't know where it is, though. I gotta find that. I'm not sure where I put it. But I got a shawl, I think that was it. I got a shawl pin. It's really cute. It's got a Petoskey stone in it, which if you're from Michigan, you know what that is. If you're not from Michigan, it's like the fossilized stone. So they're very hard to find these days because, they've been popular and people try to find them. That's kind of make a mission to find them. So they're harder to find because they've been all found. Sort of, not really, but, what did I do with it? I don't know. And then I bought this, which I love art bats. Every once in a while, I just like to spin an art bat. And I like to spin it on a spindle, even though this one's pretty hefty. This one is 3.7 ounces, so this is almost 4 ounces, so this might end up going on the wheel. And I kind of want to spin it bulky, you know, so a little fatter. Maybe I'll put it on the eel wheel. I haven't used that in a while, so, but here it is. And it's kind of reminds me of Halloween, and then it's got the blue in it, but this is Beyond the Fleece, hand-spun yarn, Art Bats fiber. From Williamston, Michigan, and contains alpaca, Angelina, Angora, bamboo, or let's see, she's just got, okay, she's got it highlighted. We have bamboo, BFL, merino sari silk, tussa silk, tencel. So it's mostly, I think the BFL is the base. And then there's bamboo, sari silk, tussa silk, tencel. But how pretty is that? How cool is that? So if I could spin this semi like bulky, and it's like I said, it's 3.7 ounces. So if I get a good bulky, I could probably make a cowl, maybe a fun cowl with it. So that's my thoughts on that. And then my mom picked up some random wool from a garage sale, or yeah, some kind of garage sale. So one of them is pretty cool. The rest of them are. There's two of them that they're kind of small amounts and they're kind of scratchy. But this one looks really nice. So it's pretty soft. And it reminds me of my, it totally reminds me of, what was it? Mountain View Farms. It's the sheep shed at Mountain View Farms. I don't know, they have the giant 16-ounce kind of chunks at Rhinebeck that I've gotten last year and the year before. I didn't get one this year because I still haven't spun the one from last year, and it's huge. So that's what it, oh boy, it's got chunks of stuff in it. So it's probably farm fresh. It's a little matted, but nothing I can't draft out a bit and make work. Boy, it's got a lot of stuff in here. But you see. I can't weigh it. My scale is holding up my phone. So I need a better setup. So it's probably an ounce, maybe 2 ounces. I don't know. Doesn't say. It just says raw. Man, seriously, raw wool for spinning. And it was $1. She spent $1. So, and then we got this one, which again, it's pretty matted and scratchy. It might be a felting project. And then another one that's a bit matted and kind of weird looking. So, looks like dirty cotton candy. So those two might be used for some felting, but again, they were all inexpensive, and she just asked if I wanted them. I said, sure. So, that's that. So, that's it for the crafts. Not a lot going on, but obviously a couple larger projects. So, I can't take on too much stuff at one time. So thanks for joining if you were here for the crafts. Now if you're here for some extra stories, then stay tuned. So this weekend, my mom and my stepdad came over and helped carve pumpkins for Halloween. So at the end, I'll put in some pictures of our pumpkins if I have them figured out. But yeah, so that's been a tradition the last couple of years. They've come over, we've carved pumpkins, because when do you give kids knives to carve pumpkins? I don't trust my children with knives. And I know they make safety knives, but I don't know. They're used to picking out like more fun patterns beyond the triangle, eyes, nose, mouth. And Emily wanted a cat, and David ended up picking a monkey, so it's like stuff they really can't carve. So we kind of have them either pick out their patterns and help kind of clean out the pumpkins, and then we end up carving them for them. So Jim carved David's, and I like to carve pumpkins, so I carved my own. Jim said he didn't care if he carved one this year. So, and then my mom carved Emily's. So my mom and Emily worked together and made this really cool cat pumpkin, and we painted some little ears to put on it, and it was super cute. And I made a ghost cat, which was a pattern out of one of those pumpkin books, Pumpkin Masters or whatever it was. And then David and Jim found a monkey face that they liked on the internet and printed it out and did that. And all was well and good. I sprayed them with some bleach water because I was told to do that to preserve them, because I mean they gotta last until tomorrow. So I didn't want them to wither away until before Halloween. So I sprayed them down a little bit and whatever. So fast forward to this morning, all was fine. We get up, we go to the bus, pumpkins are fine. I go out to check the mail at like 11 o'clock, and something has eaten the face off of Emily's pumpkin. And the chunks are left below, except for a tooth, because they had like a big face with like little fangs up and down. And they had big eyes and the little inserts of the eyes. And again, I'll put in the pictures of the before and after. The before, the original, and then the massacre, and then the hack job of trying to fix it. So I'm dreading telling Emily. I think she'll be okay because I managed to get most of it back together. I started with toothpicks because that's the go-to to put pumpkin pieces together. Toothpicks, right? Well, the thing's already getting soft because it's been out since Saturday, and toothpicks just didn't quite. So I tried hot glue. Well, hot glue and wet pumpkins don't work. Should know better, but I tried. So then super glue. So I have super glued the pumpkin back together. It literally needs to just sit out on the porch tomorrow. That's it. So right now all the pumpkins are in the garage so that nothing else gets eaten. And hopefully nothing's living in our garage. I guess we'll find out. And Emily's pumpkin is reassembled except for the tooth that I could not find. So whoever, I'm guessing it was a chipmunk. The pumpkin had bleach on it, so I'm hoping Mr. Chipmunk's okay. I mean, it was a diluted solution of bleach water, and it was just spritzed on, so it's not like I was like soaking. It's not like it was soaked in there. Some people say just dip a whole pumpkin in there and soak it, and so it was just surface. So, and again, he didn't, obviously, either he took a few bites and said this tastes gross and left it because there were pieces on the ground. So yeah, that is our pumpkin disaster. Literally, we've been in this house for 11 years, and we've done pumpkins for almost all those years, and we have never had this happen. We have never had an animal eat a pumpkin. And we've always put the pumpkins on the porch. So, unless they really like bleach, and that was more attracting, I don't know. So yeah. Our other Halloween disaster sort of story is their costumes, sort of. Not really a disaster, but kind of again, this is just one of those things that happens that it's kind of a bummer for Halloween. So we bought the kids' costumes like in September, and that was because we had a Halloween train, Huckleberry Railroad thing in the beginning of October. So we had to kind of pre-plan and get their costumes. And of course, you go to certain Halloween stores and there are no returns, which now that this has happened, I think we'll make sure to either get from Amazon or Party City. You can return them. But the Spirit Halloween, you cannot return them. So we went into Spirit Halloween. We looked at costumes. David was having a hard time deciding in general, but we found a bear costume, which he should have got the bear. And then he found Catboy, which is from PJ Masks. It's a Disney cartoon geared towards smaller kids, but to be honest, I mean, it's still age appropriate for our kids. I mean, the kids in the show are like elementary age kids. So it was totally appropriate. And Emily's like, oh, I want to be Owlette, which is the little girl in the show. Well, of course, all the costumes for PJ Masks that we saw, now that I think if we would have looked online, we could have found one bigger, but all the costumes in the store were all toddlers. So it was like the size we got should have fit, really. It was a 4T, 5T, or 5T, 6T. I don't know. The way it was I think it was a 5T, 6T, which David's out of the T clothes, but he's only a 5. Or no, he's a small extra. I don't know. He's a small. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Sizes is terrible. Sizing for my children is terrible because it's just. Finding clothes is terrible. So anyways, so we got the costume, and they only let you try on like the main portion of it. So it came with this little hat thing, came with gloves, and it came with the suit. Well, they only let you try on the suit because they don't want you to mess with the rest of it, I guess. Which they should have, because we would have known better. So he puts on the suit, and it's a little small, but it's not terribly small. He seems okay in it. The sleeves are a little short. And I guess we didn't really pay attention to the shoe part, because they had like shoe covers that were supposed to cover your shoe, and those didn't quite work. But we didn't really pay close enough attention to that. But we bought it because he was really excited about it. He didn't want the bear anymore. He wanted to be Catboy. And then Emily found a full-size cat outfit. So it's like a bodysuit, not a bodysuit, but a jumpsuit kind of, where you pull it on, and it's got the tail built in the back, and it's got a hood with the ears, so it's pretty cute. And that fits her just fine. So we got our costumes, and so then fast forward a week or two to Huckleberry Railroad. The night before, I decide, let's just try this on one more time, because it was already a little snug. Who knows? He could grow in a couple weeks' time. You never know. So we try it on again. And then we try on the whole thing. The gloves, you can barely get on. The thing now seems like it's up here, as opposed to like, I thought it was more like here. It looked like it was like up here. Put the hood on. It's supposed to like Velcro under your chin. No, it comes to like here. Can't get the boot covers on his feet. And I say, David, why don't you try sitting down? And it's got a tail out the back, and he can't even like sit down in it comfortably. He's supposed to wear it to school and whatever. So we said, David, is it really, can we do something else? And you could tell he was sad, but he's like, okay. So Saturday night, the day before we need to go to our thing, we are rushing around. We went to Party City this time because it was the closest Halloween store, and we just found one that he likes. So now he is Link from the Legend of Zelda, which seems more appropriate because he really likes the Legend of Zelda, and Link is fun. Of course, he wanted all the extras, so like the shield and the sword, which would have been cool, but they were A, cost kind of a lot of money. B, he can't take the weapons to school. Like, he could take the shield, but he can't carry a bucket and a sword or a shield, and the shield was like the size of him. So it just didn't make any sense. So we just got him the costume, and then I got him like a thermal undershirt and pants to wear with it, just because it's cold in Michigan, and the Link outfit's kind of like a skirt, pretty much. It's like a tunic, basically. And it comes with a little belt and whatever. And he's got the little hat. I asked him if he wanted elf ears, but he said no. So he looks cute. This year's costumes aren't very exciting. Last year was cool with our Mario characters and Splatoon characters. And the years before were a little more exciting, I think, for them. But it is what it is. So we got a cat and a Link, and one more day. So tomorrow is Halloween. We do the Halloween parade at school. Then they have parties, and they actually have a half day. So pretty much they're going to school for a parade and a party, and then coming home. Then we can chill out and relax a little bit before Halloween festivities. I'll have to figure out what to order for dinner, and probably just order a pizza. My dad and his girlfriend are coming over to pass out candy for us so that we can take the kids out, and that's been going on for quite numerous years too. So that seems to be our Halloween tradition, which is fun, because then usually we usually end up splitting up at some point. So one takes one kid, one takes the other, because Emily goes a lot farther than David. So, and sometimes Emily meets up with her friends and starts running around with her friends. So I think this year I'm taking David, and Jim is taking Emily, because that's what she asked. Because last year I took Emily, and we went pretty far. So, and we just go walk around our neighborhood. We got a pretty big neighborhood, so it's like a 3-mile loop. I think if you hit some of the courts and whatever, you can make it 3 miles. So we won't go that far. So, and that's not including walking up and down into everyone's house. So that's probably even more. But I'll try to remember wear my Fitbit tomorrow. I haven't been really wearing it here and there. So, okay, so that's all my rambling. And again, thank you for watching. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe and like and comment. And you can check out the Ravelry group, even though there's nothing going on in there right now. But maybe if I revamp everything, I can get things going. But feel free to start a conversation, say hi, anything. All my projects are, I need to get my mom's new one on there, but all my projects are updated on Ravelry pretty regularly. All my stash is updated pretty regularly. So if you have any questions about anything that you've seen, check my Ravelry page and feel free to ask me anything. You can comment on YouTube, Ravel group, Instagram, whatever. I am the Cat Lady on Instagram, TheCattlady. I also have a Facebook group, the Cat Lady Podcast, or I might have just changed it to the Cat Lady because I was stopping podcasting. I have a website that I don't use, and I'm the Crafty Cat Lady on YouTube because somebody had the Cat Lady. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you get to craft all the things, and I will see you next time.